Hey all, welcome back. This is another week, another Sunday as usual. Sunday night. I might not be late this time, which is great. So it'll be on a Sunday. But nobody really watches it when it comes out anyway. So anyway, um, welcome back. Hope everybody had a good week and um, you know they worked on everything they had to and they're getting ready for the next week. But going into next week, I wanted to talk about um, slightly theoretical topic, something of hypothetical, and ways to, if you think that way, ways to cope with it. So before we start, I usually don't add music to my videos. So if you are listening to this on desktop or you have available music with you, put on some music in the background. Please, by all means, that I want to add music, but two, one, it ruins the experience. I feel if I mix it wrong and it's not to your liking, like the balance is not there, and you hear the music over my voice. And two, legally, I can't sometimes with certain songs, and also YouTube with music will just probably just strike my videos down. So if you got some music, or if you have something you want to put on, please by all means put it on. And yeah, so today's week topic I wanted to talk about was regret, or wishing things were different. If you don't follow my Twitter, which you probably don't, but if you do, you'd know that I recently I've been tweeting kind of like weird, I guess, where I've been saying like, oh, I wish things were different, and there's some nights where I just don't go to sleep. I can't go to sleep just because I'm thinking, and I wish that sometimes I could have changed things. And this doesn't necessarily mean, I don't think this always means regret of what I've done, but more so wish different outcomes came out of the things I did. For instance, um, like I've said in my first video, there are a couple people that I've wronged, I feel, and also, they've wronged me, but in the end, I forgave them. I still forgive them, and I hope they forgive me for what I've done. And I wish that never happened. I wish those things never happened. And I feel as though I feel as though an understanding could have been, especially for one instance, an understanding could have happened, but it was handled from both parties in, I think, an unorganized manner, and just it was unfortunate outcome. I feel it could have been handled differently. Same thing with other people, with certain individuals. And my point is, I wish it didn't have to turn out like that. I wish the where I am now, uh, you know, socially with certain people didn't have to be like that. I wish, um, for certain people who, I know a couple people who, do substances, and, that's what their life kind of revolves around to a degree. I wish I could talk to them without talking about substances, but it always comes up with them. So, I can't talk to them because, I'm trying to keep that out of my life as much as possible to a degree currently, or at least in an unhealthy manner. Let me rephrase that. So, and when it's always constantly with that one person, it just becomes an unhealthy need, I guess, or want. But it doesn't matter with another person. With this, forget about that person because nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's more so a hypothetical. Um, but yeah, in general, I wish certain things didn't have to come out the way they did. I wish certain people, you know, would have wouldn't have been, including myself, wouldn't have been so dense and, I guess, ignorant about certain topics, and ideas. And at the end of the day, it's like you can't change it now because one of two things. One, if you can, you are basically lying to yourself or lying to other people about the way you feel or what you want to do, and to a degree. So say you don't like somebody, or somebody has wronged you and you don't like them for that. Uh, try like if they don't reach out to you and try to like apologize, it's gonna like you're not putting your foot down. You're not standing up for what you really believe. You're just another plastic bag in the wind of their aura, I guess. If that makes sense. You're just circling around them. You're being manipulated by them. So you need to that's one of the big issues I want to talk about. Standing up for yourself. A lot of people get abused by certain people without even knowing they're abused, or at least maybe abused is too hard of a word, but I would say used or I don't know, uh, they're not fully appreciated for who they are. I think that's better, and yeah, of course that comes with the territory when you meet new people, but when it's somebody you've known for a while, sure, some sort of understanding should have came about. And at the point, if it didn't come about and you both realize that at the time, you should be talking about that. But I mean, sometimes that doesn't happen, I guess. And that's another thing. That's the second topic. Moving forward. So it's going to be hard for people, especially for me. I usually cling to the past, whether it be socially or certain things I've done with my family, or big things in my life that shaped me into the way I am today. Clinging to the past is not very healthy, and you need to move on in some way. Even if you know you have to move on, but you can't, that's the first step. Knowing that it's unhealthy to keep a certain idea, even though you know it'll never happen, in your head. That's the first step to know that I'm forwarding my life. You don't want to. If you're stuck in the past, you'll never live the future. So those people that will never come back to you in a healthy manner, I guess, it's going to be hard, but at that point, forget about it. For those actions you've done in the past, and that situation is over and dealt with, yeah, you can always apologize at any time, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference. I mean, I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't make a difference, because really that's a negative outlook. It might spark something, but you have to take the courage to, first of all, you have to understand that, both situations. This is getting into a tangent. Let me back up for a second. Sometimes you have to move forward if you know you're in the right, or if you know what you did, or if you know what you haven't done is acceptable, at least in your eyes. Stand up for yourself. Do not back down. Don't tell yourself to latch on to these ideas or other people. However, if you are the person who did the wrong, first of all, you should have apologized immediately. But if, say, you weren't educated, or you weren't, up to that standard at the time, at any time, I feel it's acceptable to apologize. They might not like you, and they might say, they might say, I don't accept, but it's good to selfishly get that off your conscience. You have to mean it genuinely, obviously, but to apologize for, maybe you said something, or maybe you didn't do something for someone. At the end of the day, you should, that is a definite, thing to do. Just go ahead and do it, even if it makes you embarrassed afterward. It's better for yourself, so you can move on. You can close that chapter, and if something comes of it, a new chapter will open, a new arc, as you can say, has opened and continued. Moving on. So this episode's probably named we messed up the timeline or something. what else comes from a timeline? What else usually comes from switching up a timeline? Well, your inner feelings. Sometimes people say like, "Oh man, I was with that special person that, but I just didn't feel it at the time, and now I'm regretting it." Or maybe you're like, "Oh, I'm with a friend, and I didn't like them at first, but now I'm kind of regret not trying to hang out with them." Um, Again, move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea. I think that one's a little easier than more special people, like more people you've been with for a long time. Um, but say it's really bugging you, ways to cope, at least ways to get over it. Um, don't frantically just meet new people. Yeah, it'll help in the short term, but in the long term, you'll meet tons of other people who give you way more trouble, and aren't actually your friend. Um, so if you're gonna meet anybody new, you wanna like, I don't want to say you want to like test their faith in you, but you want to make sure that you're comfortable with these people fully. Um, when you start like being personal with them, you want to make sure that you trust these people, and you want to make trustworthy friends that you really genuinely like, things you never say to anybody. After you've hung out with them for you've talked with them for a while. Um, you don't want to make tons of small little friends because yeah, that's great and it'll help, but you won't have that like personal person, that like best friend. Like I'd ride or die for this person. That's you know having that other person that not really necessarily other half, not like a romantic thing, but more so like I have a family, and it's not just my immediate family that is born with me. It's someone I made. I made my family. I made friends with. It's kind of like a pride thing to a degree. Um, it's yeah. I feel having that other person that you really trust is definitely needed. Moving on. Um, I think that a timeline would probably, change objects, of course. So, um, sometimes you wish you weren't where you are, I guess. So, say you go to a school and you don't actually enjoy that school. Of course, you're going to regret going to that school. Ways to get over that is, realize that, and this isn't just schools in general, but this is like anything. So, you go to a party and you don't want to actually go to the party. You leave. Simple as that. You leave, and you realize that you make experiences, and as I said before, sometimes those experiences aren't for you. But at the end of the day, um, you gotta accept that this isn't for me, and you need to move forward. It's simple. It's not too hard. I mean, if a bunch of friends do those things and go to those places, yeah, it might be a little harder for you, because your friends are talking about it constantly. But understand that it's just not for you, and your friends aren't your friends because you share similar topics. It's because at this point, it's over that. It's far further than that. It's because we like each other, and we relate to each other on a personal level, not necessarily on material and objective level. um, so yeah, changing the timeline. Sometimes I myself personally wish sometimes I could change things, and wish things weren't the way they are. But at the end of the day, that's just how it is. And of course, things can change if even if you bring it up. Don't, like, if you're unhappy with something, don't let it be. Don't let the time fly by, and you know let those problems stay. I mean, of course, um, of course you have the power to change your life. So if you're feeling uneasy about a certain situation or person, or going to a place, just talk about it, think about it, and really make the decision. It might be hard. You have to swallow your pride sometimes, but if you really think it's right, and something that you would be behind, fully, definitely make that decision to do what you want to do. Change your course. You decide your fate. So don't let other people decide your fate. Don't let the environment around you decide your fate. Of course, it's going to be harder for different environments, of course, but you know, if you really strive for certain people to be your friend, or understand you, or a certain job, maybe you're in a bad job right now and you hate it, but you got to make the money. You can you understand that you'll leave that job one day and you'll be somewhere better because you're in that job working, you're grinding, you're putting that hours in so that other people can see that your dedication, etc., etc. So like understand that the work you're doing, it might seem meaningless at the time, but it'll pay off, and later in the longer run. You might be you know you might be depressed as hell working there, and at that point, definitely think about leaving sooner than later. But understand that the work you did there and are still doing, I guess, at the time, is important for you and the people who like use that company, I guess, or for future employees, etc., etc. Just understand that you are important. The things you do are important to the people around you and yourself. Understand that you have the power to change your life. Do not feel like things just, you're just in the breeze, things are just going by you. Like, don't feel like you're in an ocean and the tide is coming in and it pushes on your feet and you're like the wall and you're just like going with the tide. No, you want to push the ocean back. If you don't like the ocean, either get out or fight against it, fight against the tide. You have the power in this world, and it might start out small at first, but you can definitely make a difference in yourself and your community and the world, really. I know that's not much coming from a 19-year-old in college, but just know that just know that if you can dream it, I mean, you already have half the way there. Now you just gotta get there. So, yeah, that's really it. So yeah, timeline, change it if you don't like it. If you think you screwed up, apologize, or try to fix it in some way. It doesn't matter how long it's been. If you think a certain situation is done and over with, I don't want to talk to that person, I feel like that person is not for me, then don't try to fix something that is already done and over with, like already destroyed. I guess don't try to fix a situation with a family member, I guess, or don't try to fix a PC that is already destroyed totally. I mean, you can always try, and sometimes there's success, but at the end of the day, probability's kind of low. But hey, listen, you have the power. So if you really work for it, you really dream it, go ahead. You can probably do it. And timeline, yeah. So places you're at, people you meet, it's going to be different for everybody else. Understand everybody's different situations. Look at it through their eyes sometimes, and understand that the environment and situation you're in, they might be hard on you, but know that you can still do it. You can still change it, and to get over the times that are broken and you can't or won't fix. Understand that that's how it is. You need to accept that the situation went that way and move on. You need to like make some plans for yourself for the future and focus on those plans. Maybe find a hobby or two to get your mind off of it, and really just understand that this is the way life is at the time. If you truly accept the situation and can't do anything about it, like truly understand that this is how it is, and either you or the situation or the other person or the other object, yada 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 yada, has happened and done what they did or does what they do, and that's just how it is. You have to accept that. So at the end of the day, appreciate that you're still alive, I guess, and you're in a situation, maybe you still have a house over your head, appreciate the basic necessities, and it'll make you feel better, and understand that, you are better. I'm not blaming anybody for feeling bad, but you definitely are better off than certain other people. You gotta really dig deep, really basic stuff that you have to appreciate. And at the end of the day, you'll understand that, you know, even though my life kind of sucky at the time, I can work to make it better. So yeah, that's it. Hope this helps somebody. I don't know what I like. I don't know really. I don't know really who this would help, but hope it helps someone. All right. Two other things. One, I wanted to add at the end of my episodes, my little like rants, I guess, a little piece of media to recommend. So this week's, I'd recommend Netflix's documentary Wild Wild West. It's about a cult, religion, and spirituality. It's very good. And two, I hope you have a good day and a good week. Make sure you focus on your week. If you're feeling down right now, focus on your future and work towards it. Forget about the past. Okay, hope that helped.